My detox from rap music. So where do I begin here? So I took a 21-day fast from rap music, music with words in it, and I wanted to share with you guys some of the different changes that I experienced, why I did it, and more importantly, why should you consider it? And so I've been kind of learning about fasting, and this idea of fasting from things. Really, I started tapping into it a little bit heavier inside of 2020 with everything that was going on with COVID and social media. It was just a real crazy space to be in, and I just kind of saw I was just really seeing the effects that it had on my mental health. And so I first started with just taking small social media fasts where I would hop off the social media, Facebook, Instagram, everything for like a 4 days, 5 days, sometimes even a week. And I began to really just look at the difference that it made, how much more grounded I felt, how much more present I was in my thoughts, and how consumed we are about all of that shit, right? And so I wanted to make this video to discuss why I then leaned into going as far as taking it as fasting from rap music which I love, um, and what the difference that I started to see after doing this. And so first things first, I want to say I'm never gonna make these videos to kind of with a dogmatic approach, like, yo, you need to do this, you need to do this. Like, I'm just gonna give you, what my experience was. And so I decided I wanted to fast from rap music. It was kind of spawned. It was spawned as kind of a from a conversation I was having with somebody, um, where we just talking about we just had a great insightful conversation about entrepreneurship, around thought, around self-perception, identity, specifically around being a black man in tech. And one of the things that this individual told me was how he stopped listening to rap music for a year and how it changed his life. And I was like, damn. I kind of looked at it like that's kind of crazy. A whole year, bro. Like, I need to bump when I'm at least when I'm working out at minimum, right? But what I noticed is that I began to tap into this spiritual journey over the last 18 months and really begin to understand and decode, what the higher self of myself looks like. And one of the things I began to notice is that as I decode these things and as I'm continuously working every day to live in higher consciousness, man, like my subconscious becomes just so much more sensitive to things. And I say that to say, like, I would just start realizing that after certain times I would listen to music, maybe after working out, I would be like a little bit more confrontational, like my facial expressions. Like, I would look at different interviews or videos that I made on social media, and like, yo, I would just look uptight. And these are things that I was spreading my body language, but I didn't even know about it. And subconsciously, it's because a lot of different cues I was getting from listening to music with negativity. Now, the other aspect of it is understanding what negativity is and understanding what a negative frequency is. When we think about things, when we think about this idea of negative energy, like we may see it on social media, see it in the different memes, but like, what does it really mean, right? When they go into a room and they see you can cut the tension in the air with a knife, right? That's actually real. Like, it's a chemistry. It's a real, so negative energy is real. It's physical, right? And that negative energy exists in the forms of emotions that we emit and that we put into the universe, like jealousy, envy, hate, anger, fear. These all have their own. They all rank on a scale of lower frequency to higher frequency. And when I started to I learned about this through David R. Hawkins. When I started to understand these different levels of consciousness, these different levels of frequencies that we can control, I started to realize, like, damn, jealousy, envy, hate, blame, victimization. A lot of this shit is in the music that I listen to. And it was a kind of an epiphany and kind of a moment of self-awareness that came with responsibility. Now I'm not saying all rap is like that, but like I listen to like real trap shit. Like I'm working out, I'm listening to King Von, I'm listening to like, you know, I got a wide variety with the type of things I listen to, right? I like Nas, Nip, right? But sometimes I listen to that real dirty trap shit. A lot of times, especially when I'm working out, and I work out a lot, and I started to realize like, damn, this negativity in this music, and I'm drilling these words into my subconscious mind. Right? I'm drilling these words into my subconscious mind, and I had to ask myself, like, yo, is it my responsibility to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to be healthy in a spiritual way? And does it involve, you know, we all talk about cutting off people and things, but a lot of times we don't even want to cut off. Well, we haven't really put the thought into cut off the small things that are bringing negativity in life, like the things we're consuming, like music or what we watch, right? Or we allow to entertain us or consume us. And I'm not saying go cold turkey, just cut off anything that, you know, has any negativity in it. But what I would say is that going back to that conversation around having that level of responsibility that comes with self-awareness, I just say, you know what? Let me cut rap out for 3 weeks and see what happens. For 3 weeks. And so I did. At first it was really hard. Working out was hard. I kind of started to just work out with audiobooks, right? And I was working for a while. And then what I noticed is like after around day 7, when I really just felt the urge, like, yo, I want to listen to music. Like, I need to get my pumping. I kind of just broke the need for it. Like I broke the desire to even listen to it. It was weird because at that point I started listening to classical music. And what I personally began to see immediately is just my thought flow and my articulation of the way that I communicate things. I'm a coach, right? I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm more articulated, more communicating with people. And I just immediately began to see that my thoughts sort of were flowing easier. They were coming with less resistance. I was getting a little bit focused on my tasks throughout the day more. But I think the real aspect that came with this detox was looking at how I responded to certain situations, especially certain situations that were sort of that would emit an emotion from me, right? And I started realizing that there was kind of this gap of space. I call it like presence, consciousness, whatever. There's this sort of like mini like microcosm gap of time that you have when, you know, situations happen where you get to choose how you're gonna react. And what I noticed is that little gap of time went from like here to like here. And it's like every time I found myself in positions where I should be reacting a certain way, I found myself able to really like, not every time, but a lot of times I found myself really able to think very presently on how I would like this moment to affect me, which is huge because with doing things like flipping open my phone, immediately I'm seeing something negative, like somebody that looks like me getting their head blown off by a cop, right? Like the ability to access negative information is so huge. The ability to always be like reacting to things is so just like prevalent that it was really kind of refreshing to be able to get that moment of accessing that power of now, to be able to just be like, yo, I'm not even gonna let this affect me. And so it kind of just expanded that gap of time where I can choose the way that I react to things. And ultimately, man, just made me stop associating myself with negative thoughts. And that's really big. Associating yourself with negative thoughts lead to negative actions, lead to the way you perceive your lifestyle, man. So just my state of happiness, I'm not gonna lie, it went up. I didn't need to be stimulated by music with negative things anymore. I started to realize that my sources for motivation, like we all got our different stores of motivation. A lot of it sometimes, especially like, come on, like we're not gonna lie, inside of our community, a lot of that sources of motivation come from wanting to show people were worthy, wanting to prove people wrong. And what I started noticing is that my sources of motivation were coming a lot less from those things and more from sources of creativity and more from sources of purpose. Why? Because I wasn't listening to music about somebody trying to take my girl or kill me or me fucking another man's wife or like all this crazy shit that these rappers be talking about. I just wasn't putting all those negative messages inside of my mind, and I was able to see the rewards. And so currently I do listen to rap music again. I fasted to see what it would do. But I listened to it like probably about 80% less than I did before. I usually choose listen to positive based music, positive based messages, because I personally feel and believe that when you are really, really tapping into that higher consciousness, man, like that conscious thought ability, thought energy, right? And you really start tapping into manifestation. Not looking in the mirror and, not the manifestation meme sharing, like real manifestation. If you know what it is, you know what I'm talking about right now. It is 100% completely your responsibility to be careful about what you allow into your mind. So that's it, man. My fast from rap music, 3 weeks. Only listen to classical music or podcasts. Not really, no rap music with words in it, no rap music, period. And really just disassociate with all those negative effects of what happens when you're constantly drilling yourself and identifying what all that shit inside of your mind. And so I hope that was helpful. If you guys, found this helpful, I want to be dropping more of the things around my lifestyle in this channel. And we're going to continue to push that note forward, man. I'm going to continue to just have these honest and real conversations with y'all. Peace.